Here are 10 ways you can make money selling sports cards. The first way you can make money selling sports cards is by getting them graded. When it comes to grading, there's actually only about like 5 companies that people are willing to put their money in and trust because they trust them, and you'll see the value out of that when you land a high score like a 9 or a 10. The industry standard and the most popular of all of them being PSA, which is currently on a backlog, so their 4 bottom services are closed off, which means like if you're looking to submit any card for their cheapest services, $20 a card, $30 a card, it's not going to happen probably until the end of this year. However, there is some other grading companies you can go with. There's SGC, CGC, Beckett, BGC. I think those are kind of the main ones. TAG is another one that's kind of up and coming from what I understand. I could be missing 1 or 2, but other than that, pretty much everything else you really want to stay away from, because even if you land a 10 in something, people aren't willing to pay a price as compared to what a PSA 10 of that card would do. And for those of you that aren't aware what grading cards is, so say like you open up a pack of cards, those cards inside of there are all raw. They're not graded. They haven't been seen by any like actual grader yet. And depending on the player, the rarity, all sorts of different stuff, you could pay like a small fee, $30, $40 per card, send that in, and if it lands a really good grade, such as a 10, which is like a perfect, nothing's wrong with the card, no flaws really, you could end up, like doubling or tripling that value of the card. The second way you can make money selling sports cards is personally the one that I do the most, and that is flipping cards. This basically means, searching up comps for what cards actually go for, finding really good deals, or taking a discount off of those, and basically purchasing them for a discounted rate, less than what they actually go for, going on your end, reselling them, and hoping to make a profit. This is, it takes a lot, but if you're willing to put in the hours and you're able to find good deals, this can definitely pay off for you. The third way you can make money selling sports cards is by selling what you already have, your existing inventory. Now, a lot of people don't even think about this. Like currently, I have a couple binders from when I was a child, and I kind of want to keep it the way it is. But if I was really trying to get a start and I had no other way to, I didn't have any funds to start investing in, like just money to throw aside to start this with, I would definitely be selling those cards. Even if it's just $1 or $2 per card, it's going to take a while to list everything, but it's going to start me up with some funds eventually. I believe there's also some apps for this. I want to say Collex is a good one, COLLX, I believe. You can like scan cards. You could also do it on eBay search as well, and basically just take a photo of the card, and usually it's pretty good about telling you, showing similar copies of the card. And you do want to make sure that you actually like verify that, like go under like the sold listings or sold items, because just because someone has a card up for $1,000 does not mean it's worth $1,000. The fourth way you can make money selling sports cards, and actually a lot of them, is by doing live selling. There's different platforms, Whatnot being the most popular. Then there's eBay Live, and there's probably some other ones out there, but those are kind of the most common too. I would definitely say one of those two things. If you're trying to offload like a bunch of inventory, if your goal is purely just to make money and you don't want the maximum value per card, then I would definitely say go to live selling. You'll be able to sell a bunch of cards in a short amount of time. The fifth way you can make money selling sports cards is by eBay. I'm not really going to pair that up with any other platform because it really is its own entity. This is one that I utilize a lot as well. And this is how you're going to get like the maximum amount of value for your cards. However, it's going to take a long time to list each card individually without some sort of like scanner or something like that. Personally, I don't have one, so for me it doesn't make sense to buy like 100 cards at a time, because I know that, no matter how much I pay for that, it's going to take me a lot of time to list each one of those cards and to even see a return on that money, because all of them are going to have to sell. Even if I did it in lots, it's still going to take a while. The sixth way you can make money selling sports cards, will shift over to all the other platforms on this one, ways that I have sold some cards but typically don't for the most part. Instagram, Discord, you could probably do Snapchat if you wanted to. Facebook is a really big one. Facebook's where I've done a lot of my buying and selling as of recent. You can kind of, go outside of all the platforms, avoid the fees, and I found it to be really helpful because you're able to avoid like a lot of those, you're paying like $5 for shipping, but you're not really paying taxes. You're not paying fees. So people are usually a lot more easy to work with on numbers, and be a little more flexible. I already forgot what number we're on. I believe this is like 7 or 8. But I did just want to go back onto Facebook and more specifically say that, you can do like Facebook groups, buying and selling. So I won't say that. That was kind of the last one. But this one, I'd say Facebook Marketplace, even Craigslist, some other things like that. And you can kind of target like people in your area. So that way, maybe like shipping, you don't know how to ship. Shipping's not for you. You don't really want to like do any of that or handle any of that. Well, you could do something where, it's a little more local, and you could go meet with someone in your community and offload that inventory, sell those cards that way. So definitely put up some things like that. It's completely free to put up something on Marketplace saying that like, you're selling cards. I've done it plenty of times. And same thing with Craigslist. The only thing I would say to take into account with these more local deals is how far are you going to drive for this? You need to kind of like set that aside beforehand before you're going to do this, because it's not really ideal to meet up with someone more than like, I don't know. For me, honestly, I say 30 minutes. If they're more than 30 minutes away, if you think about the time that you're both driving, say like about a half hour to meet each other and then a half hour back, by the time right now with gas prices, you've drove that entire way, it would have been cheaper just to do $5 in shipping. So do it that way you will. I do prefer to do in-person deals when possible. A good old-fashioned handshake and meeting up, getting to actually meet someone and kind of enjoy the hobby with. I think there's something to be said about that. I really do enjoy that. Like I said, I prefer it, but again, that's not always how it works out. I believe we're on number 8, but if we're not, just bear with me here. The next way you can make money selling sports cards is by holding/investing them. There's definitely a lot of research that suggests, if you invest in some of the biggest name guys ever, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Tom Brady, potentially even Patrick Mahomes, just all sorts of different guys, that basically if you hold on to these cards and you just let time run its course, like you just don't, you don't try to offload them, anything like that, you can make money and eventually sell them for more money. Now, I can't guarantee and predict the future and say that like these cards are forever going to go up, but the way that this has gone and like what recent graphs show over how many like decades of data so far, it does kind of appear to be that way. So, and I think some people even say that some of these cards are beating out like the S&P 500. So this could even be a retirement plan if you really like, put your trust into it, or, maybe even like, what would you call that? Kind of like diversifying. If you didn't want to just rely on like your 401k as a retirement, you could even, no financial advice here, but you could put some money into some more expensive cards and, hope that they continue to appreciate at the rate that they're going, and, possibly even make more money that way for retirement. Like I said, I lost count. I believe this is number 9, and I would say that would be doing a garage sale. Now, I know like you're probably not most people aren't going to have a garage sale just for sports cards. So you could also make money, selling some of your other stuff. But as I'd mentioned before, say like you don't necessarily want to do like the shipping method. You don't really know how to ship, or you don't want to ship things. And then I also mentioned like the more local deals, if you were to go drive around and meet up with someone. Now the benefit to doing a garage sale is people are coming to you. So that is definitely a big benefit. You don't have to drive around. You don't have to ship. So that could be preferred. It is summertime. Garage sales are always going on in the summertime. So, even just putting out what cards you do have in the meantime, again, you're probably not going to get full value for your cards, but you're going to have people consistently coming to your house to look at things when you're having a garage sale. So that'd be one way to get eyes and offload some inventory. I really hope we stayed on track here, but we'll go with this as being number 10, and that would be ripping open products, packs, boxes, whatever you want to call it. This is not like a guaranteed way to make money. In fact, most times like you're almost guaranteed to lose. But you always have the chance of opening product, blaster boxes, mega boxes, hobby boxes, fat packs, all those different types of products, and you have the chance at making a profit. Now, don't spend money that you're not willing to lose, because you could very well get skunked. It happens to just about everybody, but in the event that you do make money, there's always a chance. So I want to put that on here that yes, you can make money opening boxes. It's just very unlikely. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. This was 10 ways you can make money selling sports cards. Hopefully this gives you some more ideas and you're able to sell sports cards, make money selling sports cards, all those different things, and use that money for something else, either, buying new sports cards, maybe something that you've been working towards or something that you really want to get. So yeah, I hope this helped you out. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.